Hello, what's up guys? My name is Kasan Frali. In this video, I'm going to show you that how you can create beautiful sliders using a plugin called Revolution Slider. So if you want to learn that how you can create sliders for your next WordPress website, then without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing that you want to do is to log into your WordPress dashboard, and once you are in your WordPress dashboard, go to this plugin sections. And what you will have to do is to go to Revolution Slider, and this is their website. You can check their plans and you can buy your license from here. Anyways, so in this video we are going to use this slider. This is very interactive slider, very powerful slider, and you can achieve a lot many things. They have their template section. It comes up with a lot many templates that you can choose from. But in this video we'll be creating our own slider. So what I want to do is to go to my plugin section. I already have the plugin, so what I'll do is to upload the plugin here. So I'll click on this add new button, and from here I'll click upload file, and then I'll choose file. I have the plugin on my desktop already. I'll select the plugin and install the plugin there in my WordPress dashboard. Once the plugin will get installed, the next thing that you want to do is to click on this activate button, and once you will click on this activate button, this plugin will get installed. Now you can see here that we have this window here that's saying let's get started with the Revolution Slider 6.6.2. so we'll be clicking on this button here. Now you have multiple options there saying new blank module, new module for template, manual import, and add-ons. From here you can see we have this option that says new blank module. We normally use this to create our sliders. The next option that you have is new module from template. So if you have a license from there, you can simply go to there, and here you have the option to choose between slider, carousels, it's taking some time, hero sections, and then you have whole website, then special effects, so on and so forth. So these are basically all the different kind of templates that Slider Revolution provides. So here you can see this is the template, the whole website template you can create using Slider Revolution. So basically this is very powerful plugin. Now let's get back to the dashboard. This is the add-ons part. In the add-ons part, you can choose any of these add-ons to create different kind of effects in your slider. So what I want to do now is to click on this new blank module, and once you click on new blank module, here you will see the option to create your slide. If you already have an experience with slider creation softwares like PowerPoint, then it is really very simple for you. But if you don't have, you might take some time to understand what's going on. So by the way, once you will click on new module, this option will appear. If you want, you can go through the guide here, but for now I'll quit the guide by simply clicking here. And now here you can see this is the section area where we'll create our slide. This is the timeline area where we can adjust the time animations in this timeline. If you have worked previously with any of the layer based software like Adobe Photoshop, then you must be aware with the layers and how they work. In this plugin Slider Revolution, all the things that you will create will have their own layers, whether it's a text, a button, an image, or anything. They will have their own layers, and you can adjust those layers very easily. So for now, what I want to do is to go through these options here. This gear icon that you are seeing here indicates the module general options, and in here the very first option that you have is this title. And in the title you can change the title of your slide. You can say it anything. For now it says slider 1, we can name it as slide 1. This is the alias and shortcodes. Don't worry about these for now. The next option that we have is this layout option. In the layout option you have the option to choose between slider, scene, or carousel. Because we are going to create the slider, so we'll be mainly focusing on this slider thing for now. We are not looking into scene and carousel. Then the next option that we have is sizing. If you will choose auto sizing, it will automatically adjust the height and width of the slider based on the screen size where user will see your website. Or if you will choose full width, this will go full width, and then you have this full screen option. So for now we'll keep it as full width slider, and then here you have layer area sizes. You can choose between the width on different devices such as desktop, laptop, tablet and mobile devices. By default these are accurately fine and I don't feel like touching these. And then the next thing that you have some additional advanced option where you can keep breakpoint heights, respect the ratio, grid is equal to module. These are some additional setting that you can go through, but for now these are not very important. The next option we have is this content option, and this content option for now it is set it up as custom because we are going to create a simple slider. If you want to create a post based slider, like you have a blog you are working on and then you want to create a slider for your blog, you can choose this post based and then you can create some dynamic sliders using this plugin. If you have any e-commerce store running WooCommerce, you can use this WooCommerce option to integrate the products data into your slider, and then you can design some cool sliders here, and then so on and so forth. You have other options here. We'll be only looking at this custom option. The next one is the default option. By default, you don't have to touch any of these things. Make sure the intelligent inheriting is on, responsive between devices option is on, and responsive offset and responsive children are on. Make sure these four options are on there. Then you have some general option here. The dynamic viewport loading, by default it is off, so keep it off. And then for the slideshow, auto rotate slideshow, I want to keep that on. If you want to stop the slideshow on hover, you can check this, otherwise this is good. If you want to loop between slides, then just check mark this thing. Then you have random order and wait for API. These are some other options. And then disable for mobile, you can disable the slider for mobile, or you can disable the keen burn effect of slider on your mobile devices. Then these are browser behaviors. Let's keep them just the way they are. Then you have on scroll option. You can enable the parallax on this slider, or you can enable the timeline, or there are some other effects. You can choose between scroll based effect, that is whenever you will scroll to another section from your slider, you can choose the fade option, grayscale, blur and some other options. This is really cool feature, but depends on kind of website that you are creating. Then you have the spinner option. You can choose different kind of spinners from there. You have option 0. This is how the spinner will appear before the sliders will load in. These are actually some presets. If I change the color of this to black color, or maybe the blue color, then you might be able to see them. This is third, second, sorry, this one is third spinner, fourth spinner. So these are basically the kind of spinner that comes up by default with the slider revolution, and you can go through these if you want. Then once again, this is the add-on options. You will need the license to use these add-ons. These add-ons add some additional animation and functionalities into your revolution slider. Next up, we have this advanced option. You don't want to touch any of these options, the CSS and jQuery as model, and then you have the skin option. So just keep them just the way they are by default. The next option we have is this one, and these are navigation options. These very first that we reviewed are the module general options, and this is the navigation option. In the navigation option, this means that when you will scroll through slides, so it means there will be, let's assume there is an arrow there for the next slide. When you click on there, what behavior will happen? So you can enable the progress. Somewhere there on their slide you will have a progress bar, and that progress bar will be moving along with the slides. And then from here you can enable the arrows, and then you have bullets option, tabs option, thumbs option, preview size option, touch option, keyboard, mouse and nav editor. We'll get back to this option once we'll create some of the slides in this slider. The next up, you have this slide options. For the background, as you can see now, we have type is transparent. That is why we have this transparent background there. What I want to do is to use some images there. You have multiple options there. You can choose an image as the background, an external image as the background, any of the color as the background. You can use a YouTube video as the background, or a Vimeo video as the background, or HTML5 video as the background. So let's look into image for now. So once I choose the image, you can notice that we have some additional option there. So first of all, what I want to do is to upload some images there. So I have images downloaded already. I'll upload these images. So I want to use this image for the first slide. So I'll click insert, and now here you can see we have this image added. But you can see I have to scroll through these things to actually view the whole slider. So what I'll do is to hover over this icon, and then I'll reduce the zoom from here so that I can actually see the size. So this is a nice tool if you want to clearly have a look at what is going on. And then from here you can see you have the option. By default is set as cover, and cover is really good. You can choose contain option. If you will choose contain, the image will automatically be contained in the whole area that we have here. But you can see now here we have this transparent bar above the image. I don't want that, so I want to keep it as cover. Then you have repeat option. If you want to repeat the image, you can choose repeat X or repeat Y, but I don't want to repeat the image, so I'll keep it just the way it is. Then you have option to change the position of the images. You can choose between top left, center, top right, center center, center left, center right, bottom left, bottom center, bottom right. So you may notice that the alignment is changing whenever I am clicking any of these alignment options. Then you have these alt options, custom alt option, title alt options, and custom titles. Additionally for the SEO purposes here. Next up, we have this thumbnail option. You can select the thumbnail for this slide. So I want to use a thumbnail. I'll use the same image as the thumbnail, and now you can see here we have the thumbnail for this slide. Next up, we have some animation options. We'll enable the animation in just a while, so for now I'll keep it just the way it is. Next up, we have this filter options. So the background filter, for now it is no filter. If I choose any of these options, you can see these filters are directly working on our slide. So there are these are all the filters available you can choose from. But for now I don't need any of the filters, so I'll keep it as no filter. Then once again, there is the progress here. So you might not get confused between the progress option here on the navigation panel and here in the slide option. Now the only difference there between this progress option is that if you will choose the progress from this navigation option, then this progress will be applied to all of the slides that you have in this particular module or particular slide. But if you will choose the progress from there, then this progress will only be applied to this particular slide. So this one is specific and this one is general to all slides. All right. So next, what I want to do is to create some elements there so that we can start creating our slide. So for now, what I'll do is to click on this add layer, hover my mouse over this add layer, and then I want to use a rectangle there, a shape. So I'll choose this shape option there. Now you may notice that we have this rectangle here, and in this right hand side panel, you can see it is automatically in the size and POS options. Now from here, what I want to do is to go to the style tab first, and I want to change the background color to the white color. And then if you have any custom color that you want to use, you can enter your short code for the color here, but I want to use this white color, so I'll choose the white color and I'll click on this check mark. Next thing that I want to do is to go back to size and POS option, and here you can see it indicates W for width and H for height. So for the width, instead of using 300, I want to use 600 pixels of width, and I want to use the height of 550 pixels. So it should appear like this. Now here you can see there we have some alignment options. So if I click on this one, you can see this rectangle is all the way aligned towards the left side. Now if I click on this right alignment, you can notice that this rectangle is aligned all the way to the right side. And now if I click on the center, this is right center alignment. I want to go back to this left alignment, and what I want to do is to drag this thing for the X. On the X values, I want to have at least 30 pixels so that we have some nice spacing there. Now you might also have noticed that we have kind of like this blue lines here on the right and left sides. These blue lines indicates the working area or the layer panel area. What you want to do is to add any of the layers that you want to add within this area between these blue lines. You do not want to add anything outside these blue lines, because if you will add anything outside these blue lines, that may be visible on your desktop devices, but it will not be visible on any of the other devices such as tablet or mobile. That means it will not be responsive at all. So you want to make sure that anything that you want in your slide should be within these blue lines. Okay, so coming back to this rectangle, I am back to this rectangle and I'll go back to this style again. I want to add some border radius on this top right side. So what I'll do is to click here and I'll add border radius of 80 pixels, just like this. And now you can see we have this border radius here. All right. So now if I click back here, we have some other option. We can adjust the spacing. This is margin and this thing is padding from the top, bottom, and this is margin from the top and bottom. I don't want to change any of these values for now. For the size and pros, we already have discovered this alignment option that are more necessary. Then you have minimum or max width and height. If you want to, instead you want to use minimum width or minimum height instead of using this width and height, you can use that here. Then once again you have responsive behavior. You want to make sure that you are using this intelligent inheriting, resize between devices, responsive offset, and responsive children. Then the next thing that we have is these alignments. If I click on this one, you can see this is aligned on the top, vertically on the top. If I choose this one, this is now vertically in the center. And if I choose this one, now this is vertically at the bottom. What I want to do is to make sure that this layer, the rectangle layer that I have, should be aligned in the center, vertically center. All right. So next we have some advanced styles, or we can change the angle here. And then we can enter some box shadow. If you want to add the box shadow, simply enable this, and then you can choose the values here. So for example, if I'll choose 5 pixels here, you might have noticed that there is kind of shadow now. If I increase the value, you'll be able to view it more clearly. So now we have this shadow here, you can notice that. Then this is the angle for the shadow, and these are the values for the shadow. Then these are blending options. For now it is normal. If I'll use multiply or the other option, the blending option will be applied. Then these are spike mask. You can use spike mask so that this should look like a normal shadow and nothing too overly doing things. Anyways, so there are some other options available like loop layer option, and then you have hover option. We don't want to change any of these options for this background layer that I am using. Instead, what I want to do is to add some text here. So what I want to do now is to hover over add overlay, and then I'll choose text. Now I have two options here. I can choose quick style headlines or quick style content. Because I want to use a headline, so I'll use quick style headline option here. And once we'll click on quick style headline, you have these presets available. You can choose any of these headlines. So for example, for now, what I want to do is to choose this headline, that is pop-ins. So I'll align it here. I'll close this thing, and now you can see this layer is checked. You can confirm it here. Any layer that you will choose will have this darker kind of background. So now we have this text 2 layer is selected. I'll go to this style option, and then from here I can adjust the size of the font, the line spacing, and other options. For now, I want to change the background color, the layer or the text color to the black color, and then I want to change the text itself. So I want to name it as like something 30% off air flow. dental cleaning, something like this. All right, link break that you can see for now is on content and width based. Make sure this should always be content and width based. And then you have once again the alignment options for the text. You can align the content in the text in the center, towards the right side or towards the left side. So I want to keep it aligned toward the left side. And then we have some style options here available. And the style option, you can see it says 70 pixels between line height. And then we have this font option. I can choose semi bold or the medium or bold or extra bold. So I want to use the semi bold option for now. And then from here I can choose the font. Then I can choose the background for this text layer, and then I have border options here. Then the size and POS, once again we have those all alignment options available. So what I want to do is to make sure on the x-axis I have like 50 pixels there, and it should be layered and intelligent inheriting and all the other options enabled. Then the advanced tab, once again we have this shadow options available, text stroke options available, and then blending modes and other options available as well. Other than that, we have animation, loop layer, hover animation. So whenever someone hover over this, the colors change and other things change. You can change it here. But for now, I'm happy with the way it is. The only thing that I want to do is to add some space between the top. So I'll drag it all the way down, right, like here. I may also change it from here, so maybe 250 pixels on the y-axis, just like this. Next thing that I want to do is to add another text layer, and this time this will be a quick style text. And the quick style text, I want to use this open sans. I'll drag it here, and then what I want to do is to double click on first of all close this, and then if I double click on this, I'll have this content area, and from here I want to use quality warranty. Okay, I understand that is not visible now because the text color and the background color is white, and it is almost impossible to see what is happening there. So let's just quickly change the color. For now I want to add the background color this time. So this time I'll add the background as the blue. If I click anywhere here, you can see that the edges for the text from the left and right side are very close to the text. So in this way, what I want to do is to add some padding. So probably 20 pixels on the top. And if I click on there, you can see we have 20 pixels from all the sides. If I reduce from the 20 pixels to probably like 10 pixels, now this is looking fine, but I want to go a bit smaller, so it'll be 7 pixels. All right, after that what I want to add is a border radius. So for the border radius, I'll make sure I have border radius of 80 pixels. So I want a complete rounded kind of thing here. Okay, the next thing that I want to ensure is that I use the same x and y values for this layer as of what we have for the text layer. So for the X we have 50 pixels, for the Y we have 250. So I'll click on this layer, I'll go to size and POS, and instead of using 56 pixels I'll use 50 pixels here, and instead of using 210 I'll use 200 pixels. So it should appear something like this. All right, next thing that I want to do is to add some extra text here. So for that, what I'll do, once again go to this add layer and then text, and this time I'll use quick style content because this is going to be the content. And then from the content I want to use this open sans 13 pixels 400. So I'll click on it, and now you can see here we have the text layer. I'll close this thing, and then I'll click on this text. After that I'll change the text to something like your smile is guaranteed to be Snow White. All right, then what I want to do is to reduce the width of this text. So for that, what I'll do is to go to the style tab or the size and POS tab, and instead of width auto, I'll use 200 pixels. And then I'll align the text here. What I'll do is to go back to styles, and this time I'll change the color to something like this. I wanna make it more visible, so something like this. And for now, I'll go back to size and POS. And the size and POS, instead of 200, I may make it 230 pixels. I'll go back to the content tab, and in the content tab, what I want is to have your smile is guaranteed to be snow white, just like this. Then the next thing that I want to do is to add an image layer from the WordPress library. So I'll upload some SVGs, and for now it's saying sorry, the SVG is not allowed. So what I'll do is instead I'll use some images there. So for that, what I want to do is to upload the images in my media library. So I'll click on media library, and then I'll upload the images there. So the first image that I want to use is this teeth image. So I'll click insert there, and then I'll align this right here. Now you can see I have some extra border. You can see I have some extra borders towards the left side. What I want to do is to edit this. So I'll click on media library again. I'll click on this teeth image, and then I'll click on edit image, and then I'll click on this crop option, and then I'll crop the left, right, top and bottom side any way I want, and then I'll hit save button here, and this will get updated. For the same thing I want to do for the next image that I want to use. This is kind of like an icon, so I'll crop this one and I'll hit save. So I want to use this thing. I'll close this. I'll for now remove this thing, and I'll once again go to images, WordPress library, and I want to use this image, so I'll hit insert. I'll align this here, so it should look something like this. I'll align this right here because I want to add a little title. So I'll once again go to quick style content, and this time I want to use this headline. For this headline, first of all, I'll change the text that says 100% efficiency. Then I'll go to the style tab, and in the style tab I'll change the color to the black color. Next thing that I want to do is to change the font size. So instead of using 36, I'll use 24, and the text color should be black color. And then the only thing that I'll do is to align this to the same place where it is. In the size and POS we have 124, so I'll change the value on x-axis to be 124. So now they are aligned correctly. Alright, so now we have this aligned. I might want to add some spacing here, and then the next thing that we can do is to select all of these layers by holding the control on our keyboard, and then if I right click on this, you can choose the duplicate option there, and now they are duplicated. By using the arrows on my keyboard, I can check that I have new duplicated layers there. So I want to align these layers, but you can see that the text that I am using is a bit larger than what I want to use. So I am interested in reducing their sizes. So I'll go to the style tab, and instead of using 24 pixels, I'll use 20 pixels here. And for this text, instead of using 13 pixels, first of all, I'll change the font from Poppins, Open Sans to Poppins. Style Open Sans to Poppins, and then the font that I want to use is 10 pixels. A bit smaller is 10 pixels, or a 12 pixels. I'll align them here. Then for this image, I obviously want to change this image. So I'll go to content, click on this media library and I'll change this image. And this time I want to align them towards the left side, towards the right side, sorry. And here's the image. I think what I can do is to increase the width of this background so that these kind of like icons should be visible more clearly. All right. So now the only thing that I want to do is to change this text. So I'll make it 3-year warranty, and then I'll change this text, and this should say minimum for all dental filling and crowns. All right. So the only thing that I want to change now is to go to the style tab, and in this style tab, if I click on this more, then we have this option. So instead of using uppercase, I will make it none. So they should appear like this. And the same thing I'll do here. I'll go to the style tab and I'll click more, and then I'll choose none from there as well. Then I'll check the values for the size and POS. X value 419, Y value 503. So X value 493. That's what I want to. 493. All right. So now we have this section created. The next thing that I want to do is to add some spacing between the text and that button from the top and bottom, so that we have nice spacing there. And the only thing left now is to add a button. So this button, I'll click on button, and then you have multiple options available to choose between the button styles that the Revolution slider offers. So for now, let's say I want to use this button. So I'll click on the button, and then I'll align the button to the same position where our title is. So I'll check the position of the title. This is 50 pixel on X-axis, so I want to use 50 pixels here. If you right click on this, edit, and then you have option here. So I want to change the content. So instead of click here, I want to change it something like order a service, something like this. And then what I want to do is to go to the style tab, and in the style tab, what I want to do is to click on this thing, and I want a regular font. After that, I want to have some hover animations. So I'll click on this hover, and from here you can see we have multiple options there. We have cursor options. Just keep that as auto for now. Pointer event, so that is whenever someone point over the button, what will happen. Then we have animation enabled only on desktop and mobile. Then we have these animations, and then we have these styles options. So what I am interested in is to change the background color on hover. So for that, what I'll do is to simply click here, and this time I want to use a custom code, color code. So I'll add the color code and I'll hit enter, and then I want to change the color for the font to something like this black color, and this is how it looks. If I go to the style, we have this black color, and on the hover we have that green color. Then the only thing left is to reduce the height of this. So instead of 550, let's make it 500 pixels, and now you can see it's looking like this. So now I'll quickly select all of these layers, and then using my mouse and my keyboard, I can align them in the center. So if I click preview here, you can see this is how our slide is looking. All right, so we have this slider created. The next thing that I want to do is to create more slides. So for that, instead of creating the slides all over again, what I will do is to simply click on this duplicate button here. So I'll simply click on duplicate, and now our slide is duplicated, and this one we have is new slide. This one is slide 1. If I go to gear icon and then title, this one is slide 1. If I go to this, gear icon, title, this is slide 2, so I'll change it to slide 2, and here as well I'll change it to slide 2. I want to change the background color for this style, so for that what I want to do is to click on this and then background, and from the background images, this time what I want is to choose a background color. So instead of image, let's use a color of white color. And then this time what I want to do is to add the image, so I'll add the layer and then I'll add the image here from the WordPress library. I'll choose this image and then I'll hit insert, and then I want to reduce the width of this image, something like this, and then align this image here, and then in this layer panel I want to align this at the bottom, here at the bottom. So now we have this image here at the bottom. What I can do is to increase its width. For instead of this I want to use 800 pixels, and then using the alignment options I can actually align this. So here you can see this is now how it is looking. I might want to change its alignment to here, and then I want to increase its width obviously to something like 1000, and then from the bottom I want to align it here, and this is it. All right, so this is how you can create multiple slides using slider revolution. The next thing that we can do is to look into how you can add animations into your slides. So if you want to add animation, what you want to do is to first of all choose a layer. So this time I have this layer, this image layer, and then from here what I want to do is to click on this animation tab, and in the animation tab what I want is to choose animate to, and then if I click on this small arrow, I have all of these options available that I can choose from. So because this is an image, so I want to have something that slides in from the right side. So first of all this, and then for this shape I'll once again click on this arrow, and for the arrow I want this to have animation, sort of animations from the left side. So short slide from left will work here, and then for the text I want to have animation from the bottom. So for the in, short slide from bottom. For this thing I want to have animation from the top side, so I'll right click on it, edit, and then animation. For the animate to, in, this time I want to use slide transitions and short slide from top. In the same way I want to add animation for this images as well. So this image, in, and slide from top, and this image, in, slide from top. So in this way you can add all the animations to all these objects. I'll quickly add the animations and then I'll resume the video again. Alright, so I have added these animations here. So now if I hit spacebar, you can see that I have these animations working here. So this is how you can add animations into your slides within Slider Revolution plugin. So next thing that I want to do is to create some additional settings for the slides, and there'll be some module level settings. So this one I have is slide 1, and that one we have is slide 2. Alright, so this time I'll go to this gear icon, and then from the gear icon I'll go to this navigation option, and then I'll choose arrows from there. And from the arrows I will enable the arrows, and you can see these arrows. These arrows are looking fine if you want to change their color. So for now you can see the background color, there's this transparent type black color. So if I choose this blue color and then make it transparent, something like this, if I hover over the color is black, instead of using black, if I make it white, transparent white, and then if I hover over them, they are white. So maybe instead of using this white color, what I can do is to choose this kind of black color with this transparent effect. So now if I hover over, you can see this is how our arrows are looking. And if I now click on preview, you can see this is how our slider is looking. This is slide 1 and this is slide 2. You might have noticed that we have kind of image at the background and we don't actually want that. So in order to fix that, we'll go back to the new slide and then we'll go to this gear icon, and then what you want to do is to go to this background, and then for the color, make sure this should have the white color. So for the thumbnail, I want to reset this admin thumbnail, and now we have this thumbnail. And then the animation, we want to have the base animation with crossfade kind of thing, but for the crossfade, you can see we can still see what we have, that we have two different layers there. So let's just fix that. So in order to fix that, what I can do is to add another layer, a shape layer, and the shape layer, I'll go to this size and POS, and the size and POS, what I want to have the width of like 2000 and the height of 2000 pixels as well. All right, then I want to align it in the center and center. Then what I want to do is to go to style tab, and then I'll change the color to the white color, and then I will align it all the way to the bottom using these arrows there. So now we have this shape here. Now if I click save, and if I preview this again, now you can see we don't have that glitch of photo anymore. So basically in this way you can create any kind of slider using slider revolution within WordPress. I hope you have learned something new from this video. If you have learned something new from this video, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and make sure you hit the bell icon. I also have other videos related to WordPress on my channel. If you want to learn, just have a look at them. I am positive that you will find something great to learn from there. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.